Kang Dae-hyun was tired. He had been flying his cargo ship alone for 16 hours straight. His eyes hurt from staring at the screen. His back ached from sitting in the old pilot chair. All he wanted was to reach the next station, drop off his supplies, and sleep for a whole day. The ship was small and old. The walls were covered with patches and repairs. Some of the buttons on the control panel did not even work anymore. But it was his ship. He had bought it with money he saved for 5 years. It was not pretty, but it got him from place to place. Dae-hyun reached for his coffee. It was cold now, but he drank it anyway. He checked his navigation screen. 2 more hours until he reached the station. He could handle 2 more hours. Then the alarm went off. The sound was loud and sharp. Dae-hyun jumped in his seat and nearly dropped his coffee. He looked at the screen. There was a signal, a distress beacon. Someone needed help. He stared at the blinking dot on his screen. The beacon was close, maybe 30 minutes away. But answering distress calls was dangerous. Sometimes pirates used fake beacons to trap cargo ships. Sometimes ships were too damaged to save, and you just wasted time and fuel. Dae-hyun rubbed his face. He should ignore it. He should keep going to the station. That was the smart choice. But he could not do it. His mother had always told him to help people when he could, even when it was hard, even when it was not convenient. He sighed and changed course. His ship turned toward the beacon. As he got closer, his sensors picked up more information. There was a ship out there, a big one. It was breaking apart. Pieces of metal were floating away from it. The whole thing was tilting toward a nearby star, pulled by its gravity. Dae-hyun's heart started beating faster. This was bad. Really bad. He pushed his ship to go faster. When he got close enough, his screen showed him what kind of ship it was. He felt his stomach drop. It was a Kalith vessel, an expensive one, the kind that rich people used. The Kalith were a powerful alien race. They controlled many star systems. They had advanced technology and a huge military. They also looked down on humans. To them, humans were simple and backward, barely worth noticing. Dae-hyun had met Kalith before. They were tall and graceful, with silver skin and large, dark eyes. They always acted like they were better than everyone else. He did not like them much. But someone on that ship needed help. That was all that mattered. He brought his ship as close as he dared. The Kalith vessel was spinning slowly. Parts of it were glowing red from heat. He could see a big hole in the side where something had exploded. The whole ship would be pulled into the star in less than an hour. Dae-hyun put on his spacesuit. It was old and patched, like everything else he owned. He grabbed his tool bag and his emergency kit. Then he opened the airlock and used his suit's small thrusters to fly toward the damaged ship. Getting inside was difficult. The hole was jagged and sharp. He had to be careful not to tear his suit. Once inside, he turned on his helmet light. The corridor was dark and filled with floating debris. He followed the distress signal. It led him deeper into the ship. He passed several bodies. They were Kalith guards in armor, all dead. Whatever had happened here had been violent. The signal was coming from a sealed room. The door had been damaged in the explosion and was stuck halfway open. Dae-hyun squeezed through the gap. Inside, he found her. She was a Kalith female, younger than the guards. Her silver skin was bruised and cut. One of her legs was trapped under a fallen beam. She was conscious, but weak. When she saw him, her large eyes went wide with surprise. "You are human," she said in his language. Her voice was soft and confused. "Yes," Dae-hyun said. He knelt beside her and examined the beam. It was heavy, too heavy for him to lift alone. "Why are you here?" she asked. "I heard your distress call," he said. He opened his tool bag and pulled out a small hydraulic jack. It was meant for lifting small machine parts, not heavy beams, but maybe it would work. "Humans do not answer Kalith distress calls," she said. "We are not allies." Well, I am here, Dae-hyun said. He positioned the jack under the beam. So let us not argue about it. He started pumping the jack. Slowly, very slowly, the beam began to lift. The princess gasped in pain as it moved. Almost there, Dae-hyun said. When I say go, pull your leg out, fast as you can. She nodded. Sweat was forming on her silver skin. Go! Dae-hyun shouted. She pulled. Her leg came free. Dae-hyun quickly moved the jack away and let the beam fall. It crashed to the floor with a sound he felt through his suit. He checked her leg. It was badly hurt but not broken. She could maybe walk with support. We need to move, he said. This ship will be pulled into the star soon. I cannot walk fast, she said. Then I will help you, Dae-hyun said. He put her arm around his shoulders and lifted her up. She was taller than him and heavier than she looked, but he managed. Getting back to his ship was even harder than getting in. He had to help her through narrow corridors and squeeze through the damaged door. Every movement caused her pain. Several times she told him to leave her. He ignored her. They made it to the hole in the ship's side. Dae-hyun attached a safety line to both of them. Then they jumped into space. He used his suit's thrusters to push them toward his cargo ship. Behind them, the Galactic vessel groaned and twisted. More pieces were breaking off. They reached his ship. Dae-hyun got the airlock open and pulled her inside. As soon as the door closed, he ran to the pilot's seat. He grabbed the controls and fired the engines. His ship lurched away from the dying vessel. He pushed the engines as hard as they would go. The ship shook and rattled. Behind them, the Galactic vessel finally broke apart completely. The star's gravity pulled the pieces down into its burning surface. Dae-hyun did not relax until they were far away. His hands were shaking. His suit was soaked with sweat. In the cargo hold, the Galactic female was sitting on the floor. She was staring at him through the open door to the cockpit. You saved my life, she said quietly. I am Princess Liara, daughter of Queen Valenis. Dae-hyun looked at her in shock. He had just saved a princess. The daughter of the most powerful Galactic in the galaxy. This was going to change everything. 3 weeks had passed since Dae-hyun saved Princess Liara. 3 long, strange weeks. After the rescue, Liara had used his ship's communication system to call her mother. Within hours, a massive Galactic fleet appeared. Huge warships surrounded his tiny cargo vessel. Dae-hyun had been terrified. He thought they might think he had kidnapped the princess, but Liara had explained everything. She told them how he had risked his life to save her, how he had used simple human tools to free her when their own advanced technology had failed, how he had asked for nothing in return. The fleet commander had been shocked. Galactic did not expect humans to be brave, or clever, or kind. They had taken Liara home for medical treatment. They had also taken Dae-hyun's ship to their homeworld. They said it was for repairs. They said they wanted to thank him properly. They promised he could leave whenever he wanted. Dae-hyun should have known better than to trust those promises. Now he stood in a grand hall in the Galactic Royal Palace. The ceiling was so high he could barely see it. The walls were made of some kind of crystal that glowed with soft light. Everything was beautiful and perfect and expensive. It made him uncomfortable. He was wearing new clothes. The Galactic had taken his old work clothes and given him formal robes. The robes were made of fine material and fit perfectly, but they felt wrong on him. He was a cargo hauler, not a nobleman. Princess Liara stood next to him. She had recovered well from her injuries. She wore a silver dress that matched her skin. She looked like she belonged here. She smiled at him, trying to make him feel better. My mother will be here soon, she said. She is very grateful to you. I just want my ship back, Dae-hyun said quietly. I have deliveries to make. People are waiting for their supplies. Liara's smile faded a bit. I know. But my mother wants to honor you properly. Please be patient. Before Dae-hyun could answer, a door opened. Everyone in the hall immediately bowed. Dae-hyun followed their example, though he did not know why. Queen Valenis entered the room. She was tall, even for a Caliph. Her silver skin seemed to glow with inner light. Her dark eyes were sharp and intelligent. She wore a crown made of metal that looked like frozen fire. When she walked, everyone stepped back to give her space. She was the most powerful person Dae-hyun had ever seen. She scared him more than the exploding ship or the dying star. The queen walked straight to him. He tried not to shake. "Kang Dae-hyun," she said. Her voice was strong and clear. "You saved my daughter's life. For this, I am grateful." "I only did what anyone would do," Dae-hyun said. His voice came out quieter than he wanted. "No," the queen said firmly. "You did what most would not. You risked your life for a stranger, for someone whose people have not been kind to yours." She clapped her hands once. A servant brought forward a box. The queen opened it. Inside was a medal made of gold and blue crystal. "I award you the Star of Valenis," the queen said, "the highest honor our people can give. You are only the 5th person in our history to receive it. You are the first human." The queen placed the medal around his neck. Everyone in the hall began to applaud. Dae-hyun stood frozen. He did not know what to do. "Thank you," he finally managed to say. "I am honored. May I please have my ship now?" The queen smiled. It was not a warm smile. "Of course. But first I have questions. Come, walk with me." She turned and walked toward another door. Liara gave Dae-hyun a small push. He followed the queen. They walked through the palace. The queen asked him questions. Many questions. She wanted to know exactly how he had saved Liara. She asked about the tools he used. She asked why he chose certain methods. She asked about human engineering and human thinking. Dae-hyun answered as best he could. He tried to explain how humans learned to improvise, how they used simple solutions because they did not have perfect technology, how they fixed things with whatever was available. The queen listened to every word. Her eyes never left his face. "Interesting," she said when he finished. "Your people use crude methods, but they work. Our methods are elegant, but they failed to save my daughter." "Different is not always worse," Dae-hyun said carefully. "Indeed," the queen said. She stopped walking and turned to face him. "I have a proposal. I want you to stay here. Work as a consultant. Teach our engineers your human ways of thinking." Dae-hyun felt his heart sink. "Your Majesty, I am grateful for the honor, but I cannot. I have a business. I have contracts. People depend on me." "I will pay you well," the queen said. "More than you make in a year of cargo runs." "It is not about money," Dae-hyun said. "It is about freedom. I like traveling. I like being my own boss." The queen studied him for a long moment. "I respect your honesty," she finally said. "Very well, but please stay just a few more days. I want you to evaluate our fleet's safety systems. After what happened to my daughter, I must know if other ships are at risk." Dae-hyun wanted to say no, but how could he? If other ships were in danger, people might die. He thought of Princess Liara trapped under that beam. "A few days," he agreed. The queen smiled. "Excellent." Those few days became a week, then 2 weeks, then a month. Every time Dae-hyun said he needed to leave, the queen found another problem, another system to check, another question to answer. She was always polite, always grateful, but she was also always there, finding reasons for him to stay. His ship sat in the palace hangar. The Caliph had repaired it. They had actually improved it. It was better than when he arrived, but they would not let him take it. "Soon," they always said. "Just a little longer." Dae-hyun realized he was a prisoner, a comfortable, well-treated prisoner, but a prisoner nonetheless. One evening, Princess Liara came to his quarters. She looked sad. I am sorry, she said. I spoke to my mother. She will not let you go. Why? Daehyun asked. He was tired and frustrated. I have done everything she asked. Because she is fascinated by you, Liara said. She sat down on a chair. You have to understand. My mother has ruled for 50 years. She has fought wars and made treaties. She has met thousands of beings from hundreds of species. But she has never met anyone like you. I am just a cargo hauler, Daehyun said. No, Liara said. You are someone who combines skill with kindness. Someone who uses simple tools to solve complex problems. Someone who asks for nothing in return for saving a life. My mother has spent her whole life around people who want power and status. You are different. So she is keeping me here like a curiosity? Daehyun felt anger rising in his chest. Like a pet? No, Liara said quickly. She sees you as valuable. She thinks humans have something we Kalith have lost. She wants to learn from you. She wants her people to learn from you. She should ask, not trap me, Daehyun said. You are right, Liara said. I will speak to her again. I promise. But Daehyun was starting to understand something. Queen Valinus was not going to let him go. Not easily. Not soon. He stood and walked to the window. Outside, he could see the lights of the Kalith capital city. It was beautiful. But it was not home. He touched the medal around his neck, the Star of Valinus, the highest honor. It felt like a chain. 2 months had passed. Daehyun had stopped asking when he could leave. The answer was always the same. Soon, just a bit longer. Never. He worked on Kalith ships during the day. He checked their systems and found problems. He suggested fixes. The Kalith engineers watched everything he did. They took notes. They asked endless questions. At night, he stayed in his palace quarters. He ate food he did not recognize. He looked at stars he could not reach. He missed his simple life. Then one day, he met Choi Yuna. She appeared at his door one morning. She was human, like him. She was older, maybe in her 40s. She had short hair and tired eyes. She smiled when she saw his surprised face. Hello, she said in Korean. I heard there was another human in the palace. I had to meet you. Daehyun stared. You speak Korean? I am Korean, she said. Or I was before I came here. May I come in? He stepped aside. She entered and looked around his quarters. She nodded as if she recognized everything. How long have you been here? Daehyun asked. 3 years, Yuna said. She sat down without being asked. The queen brought me here to be a cultural advisor. She wanted to understand humans better. And she just kept you here? Daehyun felt anger on her behalf. At first, yes, Yuna said. But I made peace with it. Now I stay because I choose to. Mostly. How can you choose to stay in a prison? Yuna smiled sadly. Because I learned something important. Queen Valinus is not a villain. She is desperate, she explained as Daehyun listened. The Kalith Empire was in trouble. They were losing a long conflict with another empire called the Drexion Concordat. Not through battles, but through technology. The Kalith had spent centuries perfecting their systems. Everything they made was elegant and sophisticated. But perfection had made them rigid. They stopped innovating. They stopped taking risks. The Drexion kept improving, kept changing, kept adapting. They were winning because they were flexible. The queen sees the end coming, Yuna said. Her empire might fall in her lifetime, not because her people are weak, but because they cannot change fast enough. What does that have to do with me? Daehyun asked. Everything, Yuna said. You saved Princess Liara using methods no Kalith would try. You used crude tools and simple ideas. You improvised. That is what the Kalith cannot do anymore. The queen sees humans as the key to saving her people. So she collects us? Daehyun said bitterly. She preserves us, Yuna corrected. In her mind, she is protecting valuable resources. She does not understand that keeping us here makes us miserable. Daehyun sat down heavily. There has to be a way out. Maybe there is, Yuna said. But you need to understand her first. Then you can negotiate. Over the next few weeks, Yuna taught Daehyun about Kalith culture. She explained their values and fears. She showed him how to talk to the queen. She respects honesty, Yuna said, but she also respects strength. Do not beg. Propose solutions. Daehyun thought about this for days. Finally, he requested a private meeting with Queen Valenis. The queen agreed. They met in her private study. It was smaller than the throne room, but still grand. Books and data tablets covered the walls. A star map glowed on one table. "You wish to speak with me," the queen said. She sat in a large chair and gestured for him to sit across from her. Daehyun stayed standing. "Your Majesty, I want to go home." "I know," the queen said. There was no emotion in her voice. "But you will not let me," Daehyun continued. "You keep finding reasons for me to stay." "Because you are valuable," the queen said simply. "My people need what you can teach." "I cannot teach if I am a prisoner," Daehyun said. "Yuna told me about your empire's problems, about the Drexian, about your fears." The queen's eyes narrowed. "Did she?" "Yes," Daehyun said. He took a breath. "I understand now. You are not being cruel. You are being afraid." The queen stood suddenly. For a moment, Daehyun thought she might strike him, but she just walked to the window. "I have ruled for 50 years, she said quietly. "I have made my people strong, but now I watch them failing. Slowly, steadily, and I do not know how to stop it." "You cannot stop it alone," Daehyun said. "And you cannot force change." "Then what do I do?" For the first time, the queen sounded tired. "Let me make a proposal," Daehyun said. "Stop keeping humans prisoner. Instead, create an exchange program. Bring human engineers here to work with your people. Pay them well, treat them well, let them leave when they want." "They will take what they learn and leave," the queen said. "Some will," Daehyun admitted, "but some will stay. Some will enjoy the challenge. Some will want to help. You have to trust them." The queen turned to face him. "I do not trust easily." "I know," Daehyun said, "but keeping me here has not made you trust me more. It has only made me want to escape." The queen was silent for a long time. She stared at him with those dark, intelligent eyes. "You are very bold," she finally said, "speaking to me this way." "I have nothing left to lose," Daehyun said. "You have already taken everything." "Not everything," the queen said. She walked back to her chair and sat. "Very well. I will consider your proposal. But I have concerns. If I release you, what guarantee do I have that you will help establish this program?" "My word," Daehyun said. "Words are cheap." "Not mine," Daehyun said firmly. "I saved your daughter when I had no reason to. I worked for you for months when I wanted to leave. I have never lied to you. My word is all I have, and it is worth more than gold." The queen studied him. "Yes," she said slowly. "I believe that is true." Before she could continue, Princess Liara entered the room. She looked worried. "Mother, forgive the interruption, but we have urgent news." "What is it?" the queen asked. "The Drexian have attacked one of our colony worlds," Liara said. 3 ships. They used new weapons. Our fleet cannot stop them." The queen stood. All softness left her face. She was a ruler again, hard and cold. "How long until they breach the colony defenses?" she asked. 2 hours, Liara said. The queen looked at Daehyun. "It seems our conversation must wait." "No," Daehyun said. Both women looked at him in surprise. "Let me help. I might be able to find a solution." "You are not a soldier," the queen said. "No," Daehyun agreed. but I am good at improvising, and you need someone who thinks differently than your people." The Queen hesitated. Then she nodded. "Come." They rushed to the command center. Screens showed the battle. 3 Drexian ships were attacking the colony. Kalith ships were fighting back, but their weapons were not working properly. "Their new technology disrupts our shields," a Kalith officer explained. "We cannot defend effectively." Dae-hyun watched the screens. He saw how the Drexian weapons worked. He saw the pattern. "Your shields are too stable," he said. "They operate on fixed frequencies. That makes them elegant but predictable." "How do we fix it?" the Queen demanded. "You need to make them unstable," Dae-hyun said. "Make the shields jump between different frequencies randomly. It will be messy and inefficient, but the Drexian weapons will not be able to lock on." The officers looked at each other. "That goes against all our design principles," one said. "I do not care about principles," the Queen said. "Can it be done?" "Yes," the officer said reluctantly, "but it will take time to reprogram all the ships." "Then start now," the Queen ordered. Dae-hyun felt something shift in that moment. The Queen was finally willing to try his way, even if it was crude, even if it was not elegant. Maybe there was hope after all. The command center was chaos. Officers shouted orders. Screens flashed with warnings. The colony was dying and everyone knew it. Dae-hyun stood next to the Queen and watched. The Kalith fleet had started using his frequency-jumping shields. It was helping. The Drexian weapons were less effective now, but they were still winning. "It is not enough," the Queen said quietly. Her hands were clenched. "We are only delaying the inevitable." Dae-hyun studied the tactical display. 3 Drexian ships against 5 Kalith ships. The numbers should favor the Kalith, but the Drexian had better weapons, better tactics, better coordination. "They are too organized," he said. "They move like they share one mind." "They have superior communication systems," Princess Liara explained. She stood on his other side. "Their ships link together. They share targeting data instantly." Dae-hyun had an idea, a crazy idea. "What if we break their link?" "We have tried jamming," an officer said. "It does not work. Their systems adapt too quickly." "I am not talking about jamming," Dae-hyun said. "I am talking about confusing them, giving them bad data." The Queen turned to him. "Explain. What if we could make them see targets that are not there? Make them waste shots on ghosts?" "Our ships could project false signals," Liara said slowly. She was thinking. "But the Drexion would identify them as fake within seconds." "Unless the signals were very convincing," Dae-hyun said. "What if we used real ship signatures, made copies of our own ship's emissions?" The officers looked at each other. "That is possible," one said, "but it would require precise coordination, and someone would need to get close to the Drexion to map their sensor systems first." Everyone was quiet. Getting close to the Drexion was suicide. "I will go," Dae-hyun said. "No," the Queen said immediately. "I am the only one who can," Dae-hyun said. "I know my ship better than anyone. I can modify its systems quickly. And if I fail, you lose 1 human instead of a Kalith crew." "Absolutely not," the Queen said. Her voice was hard. "I will not send you to die." "Then let me volunteer," Yuna's voice came from the doorway. She walked into the command center with several other humans. "We heard what was happening. We want to help." Dae-hyun stared. There were 5 humans with Yuna. All of them looked determined. "We are tired of being protected like children," Yuna said to the Queen. "Let us prove our worth." The Queen looked at them all. Dae-hyun saw something in her eyes. Respect, maybe, or guilt. "If I allow this," the Queen said slowly, "you might die." "Then we die free," Yuna said. "Making our own choices." The Queen closed her eyes briefly. When she opened them, she nodded. "Go, and may fortune favor you." 20 minutes later, Dae-hyun was back on his cargo ship. Yuna and 2 other humans were with him. The other 3 had gone to different Caliph ships to help implement the false signal system. His ship had been improved by the Caliph. It had better engines and shields now, but it was still small, still fragile. One good hit from a Drexian weapon would destroy it. "Ready?" he asked Yuna. "No," she said honestly. "But let us go anyway." They launched from the palace hangar. Princess Liara's voice came through the communication system. She was commanding a battle group now, leading 5 ships toward the colony. "Dae-hyun, stay behind our formation," she ordered. "Do not engage the enemy." "Understood," Dae-hyun said. He did not mention that he had no weapons anyway. The journey took 30 minutes. Dae-hyun used the time to modify his ship's sensors. He needed to map the Drexian communication frequencies, find their weak points. When they arrived at the colony system, the battle was desperate. The Caliph ships were holding, but barely. The colony itself was burning. Escape pods were launching into space. "All ships, this is Princess Liara," the communication crackled. "Begin false signal projection on my mark." Dae-hyun watched his screen. The Caliph ships started broadcasting fake signatures. Suddenly, there seemed to be 20 ships instead of 5. The Drexion hesitated. Their firing patterns changed. They were confused. "It is working," Yuna said. "Not for long," Dae-hyun said. "We need to map their systems before they adapt." He pushed his ship forward, away from the Caliph formation, toward the Drexion. "What are you doing?" Liara's voice was sharp. "I ordered you to stay back." "I need to get closer," Dae-hyun said. "Trust me." His ship flew through the battle. Weapons fire lit up the space around him. He focused on flying, on dodging, on getting closer to the nearest Drexian ship. Behind him, Yuna and the other human worked on the sensor array. They were recording everything, analyzing the Drexian communication patterns. "Got it," Yuna said. "I have their frequency map." "Good," Dae-hyun said. "Now we need to get this data back to—" A Drexian ship turned toward them, its weapons charged. "Hold on!" Dae-hyun shouted. He threw the ship into a hard turn. The Drexian fired. The shot missed by meters. But now they had the Drexians' attention. The ship was coming after them. "We need help," Yuna said. She sounded scared. Dae-hyun looked at his controls, at his improved engines, at the Drexian ship pursuing them. An idea formed, a terrible, dangerous idea. "No," he said. "We need to get closer." "Are you insane?" the other human shouted. "Probably," Dae-hyun admitted. He turned the ship around, flew straight toward the Drexian vessel. The Drexian ship fired again. Dae-hyun dodged. The enemy was so close now he could see its hull details on his screen. "Yuna, do we still have that virus you were working on?" Dae-hyun asked. Months ago, Yuna had been developing a computer virus, something to disrupt Drexian systems. It was not finished. "Yes, but it is not ready," Yuna said. "It might not even work." "Upload it to a data capsule," Dae-hyun ordered. "Right now." "What are you planning?" "Something stupid," Dae-hyun said. He flew even closer to the Drexion ship, so close that his shields were almost touching theirs. He could see their launch bay, the opening where their fighter craft came out. "Yuna, load that capsule into our emergency beacon launcher." "Done," Yuna said. Her hands were shaking. "When I say launch, fire it into their bay," Dae-hyun said. He steadied his ship, aimed carefully. "Launch!" Yuna hit the button. The capsule shot out. It flew through space and into the Drexian launch bay. Then Dae-hyun turned his ship away. He pushed the engines to maximum. His old cargo ship shook and rattled. Behind them, the virus spread through the Drexian ship's systems. It did not destroy anything. It did not even cause damage, but it forced every system to restart at the same time. The Drexian ship went dark. Its weapons stopped charging. Its engines cut out. "It worked!" Yuna shouted. "Princess Liara, now!" Dae-hyun called into the communication system. "Attack that ship while it is rebooting!" The Kalith fleet did not hesitate. All 5 ships focused fire on the disabled Drexian vessel. Without shields or weapons, it could not defend itself. The Drexian ship tried to restart its systems, but it was too late. The Kalith weapons tore through its hull. The other 2 Drexian ships saw what happened. They broke off the attack and retreated. They were confused, scared maybe. The colony was saved. In the command center back at the palace, Queen Valenus watched the Drexian retreat. She sat down slowly. "A human in a cargo ship defeated a Drexian warship," she said quietly, "with improvisation and courage." Then the communication came through. A Drexian signal. But it was not a threat. It was a capture notice. During the chaos, a Drexian boarding team had latched onto Dae-hyun's ship. They had cut through the hull and taken him prisoner. Yuna and the other human had escaped in the emergency pod. But Dae-hyun was gone. Princess Liara heard the news. She saw where the Drexian ships were going. Away from Kalith space. Taking Dae-hyun with them. She looked at her mother. Queen Valenus looked back. For months, the queen had kept Dae-hyun prisoner. Had refused to let him go. Had ignored his pleas for freedom. Now he was truly imprisoned, and it was partly her fault. If she had let him go months ago, he would not have been here. Would not have volunteered. Would not have been captured. "Mother," Liara said quietly, "we have to get him back." The queen stood. Her face was set and hard. "Yes," she said, "we do." Queen Valenus stood in the war room. Maps and data surrounded her. Her advisors waited for orders. They expected her to begin diplomatic negotiations for Dae-hyun's return. That was the proper way. The Kalith way. "I want volunteers for a rescue mission," the queen said instead. The room went silent. A rescue mission meant war. It meant violence. It meant breaking every diplomatic protocol. "Your Majesty," an advisor said carefully, "if we attack the Drexian, it will escalate the conflict." "I do not care," the queen said. Her voice was cold. "Kang Dae-hyun risked his life to save my daughter. He volunteered to help save our colony. He did this while we held him prisoner, while we denied him freedom. I will not abandon him." Princess Liara stepped forward. "I volunteer, Mother." "No," the queen said. "You are my heir. I cannot risk you." "Then who will lead this mission?" Liara asked. "Who understands what Dae-hyun means to us? Who owes him a life debt?" The queen looked at her daughter, saw the determination in her eyes. Finally, she nodded. "Very well, but you will take our best soldiers. And Choi Yuna. She knows how humans think. She might help find him." Within hours, a strike team was ready. Princess Liara commanded the mission. Yuna was there, along with the other humans from the colony battle. 12 Kalith elite soldiers joined them. They boarded a fast stealth ship. As they prepared to launch, the queen came to see them off. She went directly to Yuna. "Bring him back," the queen said quietly. "Please." "Why?" Yuna asked. "You kept him prisoner for months. Why do you suddenly care?" The queen was quiet for a moment. "Because I was wrong," she said. "I thought keeping him here was protecting something valuable. But I was only protecting my own fear. Fear of losing what I needed. Fear of change. Fear of trusting others." "And now?" Yuna asked. "Now I understand what he tried to tell me," the queen said. "You cannot force people to help you. You cannot trap them and expect loyalty. True cooperation requires freedom, requires trust." Yuna nodded. "We will bring him home." The stealth ship launched. They had intelligence on where the Drexion had taken Dae-hyun, a military facility in Drexion space. It would be heavily guarded. During the flight, Liara worked on the plan with her soldiers. Yuna sat quietly, thinking. "You knew him best," Liara said to Yuna. "What would he do in this situation?" He would look for the simplest solution, Yuna said. He would try to understand why the Drexian took him, what they want from him. They want his knowledge, a soldier said, his human ways of thinking. Then maybe they are not torturing him, Yuna said slowly. Maybe they are trying to recruit him, just like your mother did. Liara stopped. You might be right. They changed their plan. Instead of a direct assault, they would infiltrate, use stealth, try to reach Daehyun before raising alarms. The mission took 3 days. They crossed into Drexion space carefully, avoided patrols, finally reached the facility. It was smaller than expected. More like a research center than a prison. That is a good sign, Yuna said. Prisons are built strong. Research centers are built smart. They landed the ship in a hidden location. Then the team split up. Some soldiers stayed with the ship. Others went with Liara and Yuna to infiltrate the facility. Getting inside was surprisingly easy. The Drexion were confident. They did not expect anyone to attack them in their own space. Inside, they moved through corridors, used stolen access codes, avoided guards. Finally, they found where prisoners were kept. But when they reached Daehyun's cell, they found him sitting comfortably, reading from a data tablet. He looked up when they entered. His eyes went wide. "Princess? Yuna? What are you doing here?" "Rescuing you," Liara said. "Are you hurt?" "No," Daehyun said. He stood up. "The Drexion have been treating me well. They give me food, let me read, ask me questions about engineering." "They kidnapped you," Yuna said. "Yes," Daehyun admitted. "But they have been polite about it. More polite than—" He stopped, looked embarrassed. "More polite than my mother," Liara finished quietly. "I know." An alarm started blaring. Guards rushed into the corridor. The rescue team formed a defensive position. But before anyone could fight, a voice called out, "Stop! No violence!" A Drexian commander entered. He was tall and covered in dark blue scales. His eyes were intelligent and calm. "Princess Liara of the Caliph," he said. "You should not be here." "I came for Kang Daehyun," Liara said. Her hand was on her weapon. "He is not your prisoner," the commander said. "He is our guest." "That is a lie," Liara said. "Actually," Daehyun said quietly, "they did ask if I wanted to stay, after the first few days." Everyone looked at him. "You could have left?" Yuna asked. "They said they would return me," Daehyun said. "But they asked if I would stay and talk to them first. Answer some questions. I agreed." "Why?" Liara asked. "Because I learned something important," Daehyun said. He looked at the Drexion commander. "They are not evil. They are desperate, just like your mother." The commander nodded. "Our home system is dying. Our star is expanding. In 20 years, our worlds will be uninhabitable. We need new territory. We have been fighting the Caliph because we have no choice." "There has to be another way," Daehyun said. "Fighting only makes everyone weaker." "What other way?" the commander asked. "The Caliph will not share their space." "Maybe they will," Daehyun said. He looked at Liara. "If you ask them." Liara stared at him. "You want us to give our enemies sanctuary?" "I want you to find a solution that does not involve war," Daehyun said. "The Caliph have uninhabited systems you do not use. Why not offer them to the Drexion in exchange for peace?" "My people would never agree," Liara said. "Your mother might," Daehyun said. "She is learning to trust, to try new things, to take risks." The Drexion commander looked interested. "If the Caliph made such an offer, we would consider it. We do not want war. We want survival." "Then let me go," Daehyun said. "Let me return and propose this to Queen Valenis. Let me try to make peace." The commander was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded. "Very well. But if the Caliph refuse, We will continue fighting. We have no choice. I understand, Dae-hyun said. The rescue team left the facility. No shots were fired. No one died. It was the strangest rescue mission any of them had ever seen. On the journey back, Liara sat with Dae-hyun. My mother will be angry, she said. She sent a rescue team. She was ready to start a war for you, and you were just talking to the enemy. I was trying to find a solution, Dae-hyun said. Violence is easy, peace is hard, but peace lasts longer. When they returned to the Kalith homeworld, Queen Valenis was waiting in the hangar. She saw Dae-hyun step off the ship and walked straight to him. Everyone thought she might embrace him. Instead, she stopped a meter away. You were not imprisoned, she said. No, Dae-hyun admitted. Not after the first few days. But you let us think you were. I needed you to listen, Dae-hyun said. I needed you to care enough to come, because what I learned is important. He told her about the Drexian, about their dying home system, about their desperation. He explained his proposal. Give them sanctuary, end the conflict, find a way forward that helped everyone. The Queen listened. Her face showed nothing. When he finished, she was silent for a long time. You are asking me to trust our enemies, she finally said. I am asking you to see them as people who need help, Dae-hyun said. Just like you needed help, just like your people needed what humans could teach. The Queen walked to a window, looked out at her capital city, her empire. If I do this, she said slowly, many will call me weak. Many will say I am betraying our people. Many will also call you wise, Dae-hyun said. Many will see that you found a way to peace. The Queen turned back to him. And what about you? Your year of service is complete. You have done more than I ever asked. You are free to go. Dae-hyun felt something lift from his chest. Freedom. He could leave. Could go back to his ship and his simple life. I know, he said, but I would like to stay. If you will have me. The Queen raised one eyebrow. Why? Because this work is not finished, Dae-hyun said. The Kalith need to learn adaptation. The Drexian need new homes. Humans need to be part of this. Someone needs to help make it all work. I want that someone to be me. And if I agree, the Queen said, you will stay of your own choice. You will work with us willingly? Yes, Dae-hyun said, but on one condition. I come and go as I please. No more golden cages, no more prisons. I stay because I want to, not because I have to. The Queen smiled. It was a real smile this time, warm and genuine. Agreed, she said. She held out her hand. Dae-hyun shook it. 5 years passed. The Kalith-Drexian peace treaty was signed. 3 systems were given to the Drexian for colonization. In exchange, both empires agreed to share technology and resources. The human Kalith-Drexian Technology Institute thrived. Engineers from all 3 species worked together. They learned from each other, created new things. Dae-hyun split his time between the institute and his cargo business. He still took contracts, still flew his old ship to distant stations, but he always came back. Princess Liara became a leading voice for cooperation. She built bridges between species. She learned that listening was more powerful than commanding. Queen Valenis changed too. She became less rigid, more willing to try new ideas. Her people saw this and started changing as well. One day, Dae-hyun was flying his ship through a quiet system. His sensors picked up a distress beacon. He smiled. Some things never changed. He changed course and headed toward the signal. There was someone out there who needed help, and Dae-hyun had learned that helping people was what mattered most. His ship flew through the stars, toward another rescue, toward another chance to make a difference. He was exactly where he wanted to be, free, useful, and doing what he did best, finding simple solutions to complex problems, and helping people along the way.